Good morning, everyone. This is MV broadcasting from Cardiff. It's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon over here, 23rd of April 2023. It is slightly it's cloudless, but not grey. Actually, it's cloudy, but not grey. But not quite cold either. Not too cold, not too warm. Temperate is the right word to put it. I'm doing a broadcast today, a very short one, hopefully, not too long, between the Babe Ruth 1923 season, so the 1923 Yankees, versus Greg Maddux's 1994 season, which is deemed to be possibly his best. So the 94 Braves. So it's the 23 Yankees, the first year that they had Yankee Stadium. And Babe Ruth hit a near godly 400 with 46 home runs. So I want to see how they get on, the Braves and the Yankees. So they should see people like Lou Gehrig, Wally Pipp, or one or the other. We should see quite a few recognizable names. And on the Atlanta team, probably even more so. So here we go. I'm going to be Atlanta. Let the Yankees be computer controlled. Right, Yankee Stadium. Hopefully. Let's pick the lineup. So it says Shorkey. It may not pitch Shorkey, but let's see what the Atlanta team is going to come up with. We're going to go with Tommy Glavine. No, we're not. What am I saying? We're going with Greg Maddux. And the reason why that came up is because I just used Maddux. So Greg Maddux is on the mound. Now, what I noticed from doing this earlier today is the weakness in fielding in the outfield for Atlanta. So at the moment it's saying Deion Sanders as leadoff. I don't think so. But let's have a look at what Deion did. He's got it on base. It's not too bad at all. The option is Sanders or Roberto Kelly. I'm going to stay with Sanders. And Oliva's going to come in at third. Although Terry Pendleton played in that season, he is the better third baseman. But I believe Jose Oliva had the better statistics for that year in particular. We'll have a quick look. Jose Oliva is a one. Yeah, his OPS is way above average, although he played in 19 games. Terry Pendleton was the regular starter at 77 games at third. Here are the options: Bill Pecota, Terry Pendleton. Do you know what? Actually, I will put him in there. Oliver can come off the bench. Well, now I'm actually thinking it through again. I'm thinking, is that right? Anyway, some recognizable names across the board. Because it's, I don't know why Ryan Klesko's not playing. Let's put Ryan Klesko in there. And let's move Klesko up to back behind Fred McGriff. That's quite a good lineup there. Recognizable as a classic Atlanta Brave lineup. On the mound for them would be Greg Maddux. Viewing opponent. Now this time I'm going to go with a guy. Let's do the lineup versus righty. Wally Pipp instead of Gehrig. Gehrig was a 5, so Pipp will get the start. This is Gehrig's rookie season. I'm pretty sure of it. The Iron Horse. Interesting as that came up in the draft. Would you pick him? Interesting. No, clearly not. If Babe was off the table, I still wouldn't pick Lou Gehrig. Wally Shang, yeah. Jumping Joe Duggan, yes. Scott's a 9. Hendrick in left field. Let's have a look at left field. Babe Ruth should be in left field, really. But then again, he played right and left. In fact, that season he played right field. Okay. So left field is going to be Irish Bob Musial. Hendrick can come off the bench. Here we go. So that's a good lineup. The Babe is hitting third. Bob Musial, yeah, he's got to start. Ernie Johnson looks like a good player. He would have been a rookie. So, not a rookie, he would have been a young player. But Everett Scott gets a nod. Right, so pitchers. We're going to go with Bullet Joe Bush. I've played with him earlier today out of the park. Played pretty well. He looks like a good player as well. There are other great players in that year. Let's have a look. George Pipgras was playing the 27 Yankees. Herb Pennick also. Bob Shorkey. And Sad Sam Jones, who I quite like as well. But Bush is going to get the nod. If I just look at his OPS, his ERA plus 117. Sad Sam Jones 111. Herb Pennick would be the other one. Herb Pennick is probably the best of the three. Look at Whip, Wade Hoyt. How could I forget Wade Hoyt? So Wade Hoyt actually will get the start. I saw Bush earlier. He did play well. In Out of the Park version, so recorded. Here we go. So Wade Hoyt will start. So I think we're set. Here we go. Just so you know, I've used Steve Tate's. I hope you don't mind, Steve. The wonderful cards he's created. So there's a mixture of the old cards and the new cards. If they're new cards, they're probably in they were in the Howie Shanks Bingo League. And if they're not, they probably didn't make it for whatever reason, other than they weren't drafted. So starting off for Atlanta on the mound, or today for Atlanta, will be 94 Greg Maddux. And Wade Hoyt will go for the 1923 Yankees. Here we go. So at the plate, the superstar himself, prime time, Deion Sanders. I'm going to press CP here. Hoyt on the mound. Just waiting for the umpire to settle down to say play ball. 61 degrees here in New York. Sanders now batting. Blauser is in the on-deck circle. 1-2 to count from Hoyt. And Neon Sanders makes a play, a line drive out into left field. Musial can't come up with it. And Deion Sanders starts off with a double. Deion batted 288 in 1994, short season. Up at the plate now is Jeff Blauser, a key part of that Atlanta run in the 90s. Hoyt looks in. Shang sets a sign. Justice on deck. Man on second. Hoyt checks the runner. 1-2 count. Blauser up the middle. Ward moves to his right. And over to Wally Pipp at first. And that's one away. But Sanders will get down to third base. That brings up left-hand hitting David Justice. Chance to grab an early lead. Man on third. On 2 to catch Justice. Justice hits it to center field. And Wyatt, I can never say his name. Whitey Witt catches it, but a man will score. Sanders comes home on a fly ball by Justice to center field. Wyatt Witt, I keep calling him Wyatt. Whitey Witt takes the catch in center field. 2 away. Braves up. Already 1-0. Hoyt goes into his windup. 0-2 count, ground up the middle. Ward fields it to his right, turns, fires it across the Pip, and that's a side out. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors after 1/2 inning. The Braves already up here at Yankee Stadium 1. They lead 1-0. So leading off for the Yankees, Wally Pipp. Most famous for good play in his own right. Most famous for giving up his seat and never getting it back from Lou Gehrig. So here's Greg Maddux. 94 Greg Maddux might have been the best season of all of them from Greg Maddux. Maddux, in that season, went 16-6 with an 8.96 whip on 1.56 ERA. Look at his ERA plus 270. That's astonishing. So here's Pip, now left-hand hitting Pip. Maddux looks in. 3-2 count. Lost him. So Wally Pipp engineers a walk and he's on first. That brings up Whitey Witt to the plate, another left-hander. Runner on first. 2 balls, no strikes. Grounder to between Pendleton and Bowser, gets it to left field, and Pip will get it all the way to third base. As I said, the defense is not the best for Atlanta out there. Ryan Klesko on Bowser and Sanders. Let's have a quick look at the players on the field. Javi Lopez, dependable catcher at catcher. First base is the crime dog, Fred McGriff. Second base, dependable Mark Lemke. Shortstop, the defensively challenged Jeff Blauser, in this season anyway. Third, the veteran and leader of the pack, Terry Pendleton. At left field, Ryan Klesko, a bit of power in his bat. Then in center field, the controversial superstar, Deion Sanders. A lot of the old-timers did not like the way Deion played baseball or approached baseball. And in right field, David Justice. Stands at the plate is the man himself, George Herman Ruth, Babe Ruth. 394, 41 home runs, 131 RBI. Hard to question the statistics on this man. Is this his best season? Runners on first and third, 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. A grounder back up to Maddux. Maddux turns around, fires it over to second to get the runner, but Ruth will get to first. Still 1-0. Brings up Irish Bob Musial from the right-hand side. Runners in first and third, 0-2 count, hit on the ground. Pass bounce to Lemke, Lemke to Blauser, Blauser to McGriff. Double play. Nice play there by Lemke. Blauser had the arm strength to get it across to McGriff. So Maddux gets out of the inning. Go to the top of the second inning. At bat, Ryan Klesko from the left-hand side. 2-0 count from Hoyt. And a long fly ball hit down the right field line, and that one is gone. Ryan Klesko puts the Braves up 2-0. Wow, that's gone. That just brings up Javi Lopez. Look at the stadium effects for this one. If you're a lefty, you get a 59% bump on your home runs. If you're a righty, you get an 81% bump on your home runs. Looks good. Here's Javi Lopez. Nobody out for Atlanta here. 2-0 up. 1-0 to count from Hoyt. Lopez swing high, chopper down to short. Jump in, Joe Duggan. Doesn't have a play. Good hustle by Javi Lopez. So Javi Lopez is on first. That brings up Terry Pendleton now. Pendleton batted .257, 7 home runs and 30 RBIs in very limited duty in a limited season. He's a switch hitter. Hoyt goes into his motion. On one pitch, Pendleton lines it to right field. Babe Ruth with a diving play catches it. So unlucky for Pendleton. Brings up the equally switch hitting Mark Lemke. Lemke 294, a spark plug for the Braves. Hoyt, a rugged old campaigner for the Yankees. Maddux on deck. Runner on first. 1-0 to count. There goes Lopez down to second base. Beats the throw by Shang. So Wally Shang cannot throw him out. And there's a runner on second. No! My eyes deceive me. They're calling him out. They are calling him out. Lopez is arguing with the umpire. I thought he was safe. He's out. So Lopez there, I don't think Lopez was supposed to go in the first place. So, Lemke at the plate. Ground up the middle. Ward fills to his right. Steadies and throws it across the diamond. Throws to first. And that's another out. And that's the end of the inning. So after 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, Atlanta Braves, 1994, lead 2-0 over the 1923 New York Yankees. Much conjecture over which season is Babe Ruth's best season. Was it 1927? It definitely wasn't 26, as I was told yesterday. But was it 1923? So far from the Babe, we've seen a diving catch in right field. So, and a man who later on
to be so cruelly tossed away by the New York Yankees to play for Boston. Boston Bees. So the Bees? Yeah, the Bees. Bees or the Braves, whichever one it was at the time. So here we go. Hey, Beatles Eternally popped in. I didn't think you were there. I got corrected by the master. So Bob Musial and Irish Musial are two different players. You're absolutely right. I have heard of Irish Musial. That's why it's stuck in my head, but you're absolutely right. Bob Musial is the other player. He played for the Yankees. Irish Musial played for the New York Giants. Here you go. Here's Maddux on the mound now. Thank you for that, Beatles. Didn't expect to see you up so early. Bit of Sunday morning baseball for you. Aaron Ward steps onto the plate. 283 hitter, 10 home runs, 82 RBI. Maddux will go into his windup, 2-1 to count. A grounder between first and second. Lemke has it, gloves it, and throws to first. 1 away. Brings up Wally Shang, the catcher for the Yankees, one of the great Yankee catchers. I think he might have been followed by Bill Dickey. And then from Dickey you go to Yogi Berra. And then Elston Howard, Thurman Munson, and Jose Posada. It's a rich history of catches. If I've missed anyone, please let me know. The hot dog year is 1925. I believe that was the year of the grumbling Stone Cold Babe. Now, according to Beatles, Ruth's best year is 1921. Well, I think it's 1923. I'll have to look at the stats for Babe in 1921. Here's Shang. The righty sets on 2 pitch from Maddux. And a grounder between first and second. Lemke gloves it over to McGriff. Got him. So 2 away here for the Atlanta Braves here. Brings up Jumping Joe Dugan. I'm going to call him Dugan. Yeah, Yogi Berra was a great catcher. Yogi Berra, Elston Howard, Thurman Munson. So a great lineage of Yankee catchers. So here's Joe Dugan at the plate. Known for his fielding, mostly. Played in the 27 Yankees. And Dugan hits a fly ball to left center. Klesko measures it. He's under it. And that's out. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Yankees after 2 complete. Atlanta leads New York 2-0. So this was just matching up 2 great teams. I don't know how great the 23 Yankees were, but I'd assume with Ruth in the team with 41 home runs and a .394 batting average. In fact, just take a look at Babe Ruth. I've really got to see his 1921. A .234 OPS plus and an OPS of 1.313, which is high indeed. Here's Wade Hoyt. Maddux should be easy work. Maddux does hold a good stick, but he struck out, so Wade Hoyt gets his first strikeout of the day. Corners are in now for Deion Sanders, who can lay down a bunt. He's got a 10 bunt rating. Sanders comes up against Hoyt. He doubled and scored in the last inning. On 2 count, bouncer up the middle. Scott ranges to his left and fires to first to get a close play at first, but Sanders is safe. So Deion Sanders showing that electric football speed. Oh, we don't say football, we say F-ball. So Sanders is there. So I'm getting some really expert work here on the sidelines from Beatles Eternally, the man who has got me back into baseball and now worries about my sanity. But Beatles has kindly advised me here that the 23 Yankees won their first World Series in 1923. That would have been the first year that the House of Ruth was built. Okay, here we go. Here's Jeff Blauser, 0 for 1. Against Schoolboy Hoyt. Justice is on deck. Runner on first. Here comes the pitch. At first pitch, Sanders is going for second. And nice play by Scott to get it across the pip. Sanders will get to second, but the runner is out. That is Everett Scott. That's short with a 9 rating. Bringing up David Justice here. Atlanta leads 2-0. 2 outs. Here we go. Bottom of the third. No, top of the third. Not playing at Fulton County. Runner on second, on 2 to count. Justice swings. It ricochets of Hoyt. Great play by Scott. So it ricocheted off the glove, but Scott still had it covered. And that's the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After the half inning, after 2.5, Atlanta 2, New York nothing. So, Beatles Eternally tells me the Yankees won their first World Series after losing to the New York Giants in 1921 and 22. So this would have been the Yankees' first World Series year. It's also the year that Yankee Stadium opened. The house that Ruth built. So now at the plate is Everett Scott. We just saw Scott make some good plays in the last inning. Maddux looks in. 0-2 to count on Scott. He rips a line drive to right field. Justice will get down to it. And Scott is on first. So the second hit from the Yankees here. This is Greg Maddux' great 1994 season. The season curtailed by the strike. Out to play the schoolboy Wade Hoyt. Runner on first. Infield at the corners. Maddux, a great play by Maddux there. A little bunt from Hoyt. And he got it over to Blauser, but did they get the runner? No, Hoyt is safe at first. Brings up Wally Pipp, a man famous in history for losing his place to Lou Gehrig, who is on the bench today. This would have been Lou Gehrig's rookie season, I believe. Look at that OPS plus 217 as a rookie. Wow. Here's Wally Pipp batting from the left-hand side. Maddux looks in for the sign from Lopez. Pipp walked in the first. There's a runner on. 1-2 to count. Grounded to Blauser. Blauser to Lemke. Lemke to McGriff. Double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 3 complete, Atlanta lead 2-0. There we go. Welcome in to anyone else that does come into the channel later on. So I'm focusing on the field. Go to the top of the 4th inning now. Here comes the recently anointed Hall of Famer, Fred the Crime Dog McGriff. McGriff hit 34 home runs in 1994. Wade looks in, gets a sign from Shane. 3-1 to count. A deep fly to right center field. And look who gets it there. The track is Babe Ruth. So Babe Ruth showing some athleticism. Has it, and that's 1 away. Brings up Ryan Klesko, who's 1 for 1 today. He hit a solo homer in the second. Can he do it again? Shang sets a sign. Hoyt into his motion. 1-1. High fly ball, but Ruth has this covered. Can of corn for Babe Ruth. 2 out. Brings up Javi Lopez, the catcher. 1 for 1 today. Javi single between third and short first time up. Hoyt into his motion. 2-0 to count. And a line drive between third and short. Scott could not get his glove on it. So Javi Lopez goes to first base, bringing up the leader of the Atlanta Braves, Terry Pendleton, the former Cardinal. Oh, Beatles, I tell you. I love sports in general. Cricket, tennis, not so much golf. Tennis, I do follow it, but not much. Tennis, football, my football is in soccer. American or F-ball a little bit. But baseball, I've forgotten how much I love this sport. How much I love delving into the history. I just forgot. 20 years just formed a habit of just not watching the game or occasionally just looking at who won what. And that was it. But I really mean it when I say it. It's got me back to the passion. I was rabid follower of it in the 80s. When I was a kid. Here we go. Here's Pendleton coming from the left-hand side. The cunning Wade Hoyt. Wade Hoyt looks in. Runner on first. 1-1 from Hoyt. Shallow fly ball. Wyatt Witt. Oh, I can never say this man's name. Whitey Witt. That's it. Has it at center field. And that's the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 3.5. Atlanta 2, New York, nothing. Bringing up Whitey Witt, a man whose name I cannot say. 1-for-1. Witt, coming from the left-hand side. Maddux so far has just given just the 2 hits. 1-2 pitch from Maddux. Witt lines a line drive to center field. Base hit. Atlanta does have a soft center with Blauser and Lemke. Lemke's adequate. Blauser not so much. In 94. That brings in Babe Ruth. Here's the matchup, the marquee matchup we've been looking forward to. Maddux versus Ruth. Maddux is best, or one of his best, versus Ruth's one of best. This is what we came to see. Maddux goes into his windup as Ruth waits. Maddux with the 0-2. Got him with an off-speed pitch. That's the first strikeout. So Maddux comes out on top on that one. Brings up Bob Musial, not Irish. Bob Musial. Coming from the right-hand side. Runner on first. Maddux with the first pitch. Musial swings. Lemke gloves it over to McGriff. Got him just in time. Witt goes down to second. It's 2 away now for the Yankees. Here's Aaron Ward, second baseman. 10 home runs in 1923. Runner on second base. First pitch to Ward. Ward up the middle. Great play by the Gold Glover Maddux. He tosses it over to McGriff and they get Ward. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors after 4 innings. Atlanta Braves 2, New York Yankees nothing. A matchup between the 1923 Yankees and the 1994 Braves. I'm learning about the 23 Yankees, some interesting facts. It's the first year they won the World Series. It's also the first year of Yankee Stadium. And also, it would have been the rookie year of Lou Gehrig. I'm pretty certain of that. And it would also be the last time Wally Pipp probably saw a Yankee starting position available to him. Here we go. Hoyt looks in. Tugs at his cap. Lemke steps in. Waits. 1-2 to count to Lemke. Ground ball towards second. Ward gloves it as a routine set grounder, and he throws it to Pipp for the out. 1 away. That brings up Greg Maddux. You know, he's decent with the bat. He steps in. Hoyt waits for him. Shang puts the sign down. Maddux struck out his last trip. Here's the 0-1 to Maddux. Fly ball hit down the left field line. And Bob Musial chases it into the stands. Looks around at the crowd. Waves at a couple of little fans. Drops back into position. Bob Musial. Let's have a look at Bob Musial. Now, I would have read something about him being the 1927 Yankees. One of my first baseball books that I can remember was a Greatest Teams book, so I would have read about 27 Yankees, but the 23 Yankees, you know, it sounded like a good team too. There's Maddux, steps back in. White toes the rubber. Easy hop to Jumping Joe. Throws across the Pipp, and that's 2 away. Jumping Joe Dugan at third. Not his best season is a 6. There we go. White's still on the mound. Paces around the mound. Toes the rubber as the modern day superstar Deion Sanders steps in. 1-1 to count. Sanders slips. Deep fly ball to right center. Ruth gets to exercise and takes it. End of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors after 4.5. Atlanta 2, New York nothing. Bringing up Wally Shang from the left-hand hitter. Maddux goes into his windup. 1-2 to count. Maddux works. Ground ball to Blauser. Blauser gloves it, throws across the infield. Got him. Another one down for the Yankees. Not getting much out of Maddux today. There's Joe Dugan at the plate. Coming from the right-hand side. Over 1 today. A fair hitter. Maddux toes the rubber. Lopez puts the sign down. 1-0 to count. Deep fly ball from Dugan. Dion has it covered in center field. And he's under it now, and he makes the catch to retire Dugan. 2 out. Braves lead 2-0 here at Yankee Stadium in inning number 5. That brings up Everett Scott, 246 hitter. Scott singled to right in the 3rd. 1-0 to count. Here's the pitch. Swings, and it's down to Blauser. Blauser gloves it, fires it across to McGriff. And no runs, no hits, no errors after 5 complete. Atlanta Braves 2, New York nothing. Here we go. Brings in now the Atlanta team now at the top of the inning. The Jeff Blauser will lead off, 0 for 2 today. Let's not forget Wade Hoyt here is pitching a good game. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 home run given up so far with 1 strikeout. Blauser grounds to second in the 1st, grounds it out to short in the 3rd. He takes the sign from Shang. Hoyt. 1-0 to count. Here's the pitch and a base hit to left field. Milcio picks it up, and there's a base hit for Blauser to lead off the inning. And it brings up some of the Atlanta power coming up next. Justice McGriff and Klesko. Could be trouble here for Wade Hoyt. Hoyt toes the rubber as Justice steps in. Runner on first. 0-1 to count. Justice pops it up to short, and Scott has it. That's 2 away. Brings up the crime dog. 0 for 2. Hoyt, I need to find out a bit more about him. McGriff grounded to second and flied out to right in the 4th. Man on first, and McGriff got some wood on it. Hoyt to Ward. Ward over to Pip. And double play. Great play there by Musial. Got it over to second and over to first. Great play by Ward as well. And that's the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors after 5.5. Atlanta 2, New York nothing. That brings in Wade Hoyt at the plate. Still left to bat. 1-2 to count. And swings, and Blauser has it. Oh, that's 1 away. So Hoyt swung it straight to Blauser there. Easy pickup for Blauser. Routine play. Jeff Blauser, not one of the most exciting Braves, but a mainstay all the same. Here's Wally Pipp, who I think was a good hitter in his own right. 304 hitter in 1923. 108 RBIs. Pipp against Maddux. 1-1 to count, and he rolls between third and short. Pendleton in there for his defense, gets it, throws across the diamond, got him. I'd love to know the story about Wally Pipp. I have to read that one again. I've read it years ago. I know he lost his place to Lou Gehrig and never saw it again. But what happened to Wally Pipp? Here's Whitey's Wit now at the plate, batting on the left-hand side. 2 out. Maddux cruising along here so far. 1-1 to count. Slow roller to first. Fred McGriff has it. Runs back to base, and that's 2 away. In fact, that's the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors after 6 complete. Atlanta 2, New York nothing. Here's Ryan Klesko now to lead off the 7th inning. Comes from the left-hand side. He's 1 for 2 today. 1-1 count from Hoyt. And Klesko blasts one down the left field line, but it's foul. It's catching up to Hoyt's fastball there. Hoyt looks at just taking his time. There's no clock here. Klesko steps back in. 1-2 to count from Hoyt. Fly ball down the right field line. Ruth hustles after it, and that's foul. So Klesko's had 2 good connections here so far. The count is 1-2 against him. 1-2, here comes from Hoyt. And a base hit to center field. Good at bat from Ryan Klesko. I don't think Klesko fulfilled his potential in real life. That's what I think. Here is Javi Lopez, dependable long-term catcher for Atlanta during those golden years. He was like the Jose Posada of the National League as far as I was concerned in that era. Here's Javi Lopez, 213 home runs, 245 batting average. He's 2 for 2 today. He's connected with Hoyt very well. Runner on first. 0-2 to count to Javi. What works? And a fly ball to right center field. The split finger got him there. Ruth has it. Klesko will trot back to first. One away. Brings up Terry Pendleton. Need a base hit now from the captain. Runner on first. Hoyt checks the runner. 1-0 pitch. And a deep fly ball down the left field line. Foul. So they seem to be catching up to Hoyt. 1-1 the count now to Pendleton. Pitch from Hoyt and a base hit to right center field by Pendleton. Could be extra bases. He goes into second. Safe. Klesko will go head first into third. And Atlanta threaten here at the top of the 7th inning. Brings up Mark Lemke. What's he going to do here? So Hoyt looks in. Now, I've got to be careful with the New York team. Hoyt goes 150. Are they going to overpitch him? Lemke now hitting. He's walked last time. And they walk him again. So, Lemke is walked to get to Maddux. What will Bobby Cox do? Infield corners are in. Bases are full of Braves. 1 out. Top of the 7th. Yankees trail 2-0. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome, Beatles. All because of you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thought I'd get one in early before you guys wake up. Have a good day at work, my friend. There we go. Maddux 0 for 2 today. Is he going to bat? Yes, he is. Sanders is on deck. Bases loaded. Infield in at the corners. 2-2 count to Maddux. And he struck out. Brings in Deion Sanders, who's 2 for 3 today. Dangerous in this situation. 288 hitter. Right up on the left-hand side. Righty against lefty. White stays in there. Bases loaded. 1-0 to count. And a grounder between first and second. Nice play by Ward. Gloved it to his left and down over to first. Side retired. No runs, 2 hits, no errors after 6.5 innings. Atlanta 2, New York nothing. Yeah, thank you to Beatles eternally for coming in today. As he wakes up and goes about his merry way. Nice to stop in at the stadium. Here's Babe Ruth. 0 for 2 today to Babe. Maddux still holding on to this 2-0 lead. Let's go, Babe. Ruth struck out in the 4th. Maddux toes the rubber. 1-2 to count. Struck out the Babe for the 2nd time. He had 2 strikeouts and then he struck out the Babe twice. Maddux cruising along at the moment, but the game is still tight. Here's Bob Musial. Ward is on deck. Maddux with the 1-2. Grounded towards Lemke. Lemke fields it and fires it to McGriff. 2 away. So Lemke proved to be pretty good today. Inactive. Maddux, who looks like an accountant, waits for Aaron Ward to step in. Ward 0 for 2 today. From the right-hand side, here he comes. Grounds the pitch in the 4th. 1-2 for Maddux. And a ground is a second. There goes Lemke, ranging to his right this time. Another goose egg for New Yorkers. Lemke fires it to McGriff. Nothing across in the bottom of the 7th. After 7, Atlanta 2, New York nothing. Here we go. So a bit of Sunday morning baseball. At the plate is Jeff Blauser, 258 hitter. Atlanta still lead 2-0 here, looking to pat their lead. 94 Atlanta versus 23 Yankees. Tarasco cuts the pinch hit, a very deep fly ball to right center field, and it's gone. Tarasco takes it out of here. Pinch hitting for Jeff Blauser, and Atlanta does indeed pat their lead, 3-0. Atlanta Braves. Brings in Justice. We were trying to see how well the 1923 Babe Ruth would do. hit his 41 home runs, and so far he's 0 for 2 today against 1994 Greg Maddux and his Atlanta Braves. So far, the Braves on top, and Maddux is pitching a beauty. Here's Justice. First pitch to Justice, fastball, ground ball to the left. It was a great play by Scott. Scott over to Pip, and that is one away. Great play there by Everett Scott. Not known for his bat, but well known for his glove. Coming to the plate now, Fred McGriff is 0 for 3 today. Hall of Famer Fred McGriff looks in. White will go into his windup. 1-1. Ground to first. Wally Pip has an easy out, and that's 2 away. Brings up Ryan Klesko's had a good day today. He hit a solo home run down the right field line in the second inning, and he lined a single to center. 2 for 3 for Ryan. Hoyt goes into his windup. On 1 to pitch, and a rope to center field, and another base hit for Ryan Klesko. So he's owning Hoyt today. So Klesko's at first. That brings up Javi Lopez. Lopez has been 2 for 3 today. Singled twice early on in the ball game. Shang puts a sign down. No, he doesn't. He decides to come and talk to Hoyt, who is a bad sign. Lopez digs in on 1 count. Grounders to Jumping Joe at third, and he gets to Aaron Ward. And that's the ball. That's the end of the inning. So 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. And the Braves still lead 3-0. So we'll let the CPU do the substitute. Rafael Belliard is coming in at short. As Maddux has a 2-1 count against Shang. He hits it straight to McGriff, ground ball. McGriff takes it to the bag. 1 away. Here's Jumping Joe Dugan at the plate. 283 hitter. 0 for 2 today. Maddux has owned everybody so far. 1-1 to count. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Lemke. Range to his right. Got it. Fires it over to McGriff. 2 away. Lemke's been very busy today. Brings up the shortstop, Everett Scott. No, they switch him for Ernie Johnson. Here's the 0-2 count to Johnson. He rips it up the middle. Lemke gloves it. Fires it to first. Got him. No runs, no hits, no errors. The Braves continue to hold on now as we get to the top of the 9th inning. That brings up Terry Pendleton. 1 for 3 today for the veteran Pendleton. This would have been his age 34 season. Pendleton steps in. Hoyt's still on the mound. 1-2 count. He got him on the outside corner, so Terry will sit down. Brings up Mark Lemke, been very active in the field today. 0 for 2 at bat though. Hoyt looking to close out his part of the game. Hoyt goes into his windup. 2-1 to count. Ripped up the middle. Base it to Lemke. He's having a great day today. Mark Lemke 3 for 4 today. Proven to be a bit of a spark plug for the Braves. Brings up Greg Maddux. Now, are they going to sit Maddux? No, Maddux will hold the bat in his hand. Runner on first. Corners are playing up. 1-1 pitch. Down the line to third. Dugan has it toward Ward over to Pip. Double play. It's a good play by the Yankees, and that now brings up the final inning for them. Well, if they can't tie it. Here is Hoyt. But no, I suspect the manager's going to pull him. Yep, he does for Elmer Smith. 0-2 to count to Smith. Split finger, long fly ball to center field. Sanders measures it and has it. 1 away. Brings up Wally Pip. Wally Pip, famous for losing his seat to Lou Gehrig. But this season he played more. This is Gehrig's rookie season. Maddux now trying to close the deal. 1 to count. Grounder back up to the Gold Glove hitting Maddux. Gold Glove fielding Maddux. Maddux throws it to first. 2 away. So Maddux looking for the complete game here. He's only given up 3 hits. This is his 1994 season where he went 16-6 with an 8.96 whip. Wow. Here we go. Whitey waits. Maddux to close it down. Maddux steers in. First pitch to Witt.
shallow fly ball to right, and this is the ball game. David Justice gloves it, and that is the ball game. We have a clear winner today. Atlanta 3, New York nothing. But it's the Babe versus Maddux. Maddux came up on top today. Great pitching performance with Greg Maddux. So as we leave Yankee Stadium 1, we look at the scorecard. Atlanta have beat the Yankees 3-0. Yankees cranked out 11 hits. Maddux gave up only 3. Maddux pitched 9 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no home runs, had 1 walk, 2 Ks in a masterful performance with a game score of 82. Hoyt pitched well as well. He pitched all of his 9 innings too, but gave up 11 hits and 3 home runs, and there is the difference. There is the difference. Look at the batting scorecard. Home runs by Tarasco late on and Klesko. Nothing doing for the Yankees apart from 2 hits from Witt and 1 from Scott. Nothing came across from Pip or Babe Ruth went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. So, masterful performance from Greg Maddux. So, thank you very much. That was a quick fire game. And we'll call it there. So, my first experiment there with Babe Ruth versus Greg Maddux. Maddux came out on top. So, goodbye from me. Thanks to anyone who came in or comes in later on. Thanks to my good friend Beatles Eternally, the man who got me involved in baseball again after something like a 20-year hiatus. Really just went off baseball and have come back to it with a vengeance since last year. To the point where I'm just devouring books, spending half my time reading, which I like reading anyway, but spending a lot of time just reading on baseball. Getting involved in draft leagues, pretty much ignoring all my normal stuff, although soccer will always be probably number one. But cricket has definitely taken a back seat. But then again, it's cricket season now. It's also baseball season now as well. This is one of the action PC games I played last of all. I played F-ball first, then I played basketball, which I was absolutely hooked on. In fact, I played football years ago. I just did not like it. I preferred 2nd and 10 at the time. But then I got into basketball on here, and I absolutely loved it. About 7-8 years ago, I was a big fan of the basketball game. Got as many things as I get my hands on. Got the baseball game at that time, about 7 years ago. I just did not like it at all. In fact, I requested a refund, and I got one too. But actually, I think fair play to Dave who makes this game, because I've come back with a vengeance. I've bought everything to get my hands on since. It's somehow Beatles Eternally just got me into this game. Our Red Sox fan as well. Steve Tate, who does so many mods for this game. Then you've got the knowledge of people like Big Clue. These are all regulars in the community. So many others I could, too many to mention. But thanks to all of them, but especially Beatles Eternally, who got me back into the game. Just the way he called the game, his breadth of knowledge. So good. Steve as well, with his humour, his good humour. Big Clue's good humour. And all the guys. And also there's a wider community like RJL Network. Tune into his games. Just superb. Love hearing him broadcast a game. I love hearing Big Al Red Sox fan, obviously. I say obviously, I think he's the daddy of the whole community insofar as his enthusiasm, for sure. And people like King Ikibu, who I remember going way back to see. Way, way, way back. As far as I can remember, actually. He was broadcasting using Action, so, really enjoying it. So from Mark from MV, is my name, Mark, from MV in Cardiff, I sign out.